Every day, you are manipulated not with chains, but with whispers. You think you are choosing, but are you? Today, we tear off the mask of control and reveal the 7 dark secrets used by the cunning to keep you obedient. Power is not granted, it is taken, and once taken, it must be guarded. The weak believe they are free, the wise know they are ruled. I am Niccolò Machiavelli, and tonight, I shall unveil the black art by which rulers, lovers, and leaders wrap chains around the minds of men. 7 secrets. Sharpened like daggers hidden behind smiles. Learn them or be ruled by them. Power does not always arrive with banners and trumpets. Often, it walks silently, wearing the mask of normality. Most men believe they steer their own lives, yet they are guided subtly, invisibly by unseen hands. Control is not about force, it is about shaping desire, bending perception, and molding belief. Those who rule understand this truth well. To truly dominate, one must make the subject choose their chains. Consider how the shepherd leads his flock. He does not push each sheep. He builds fences, he places salt where he wishes them to gather, and they walk as if it were their own decision. So it is with people. The world you move through has been designed, paths paved, rewards placed, fears whispered into your ear until they feel like your own thoughts. You are shown what to want before you can even name your desire. You are taught what to fear before you can test its truth. This is the essence of control, not chains of iron, but chains of thought. When a ruler convinces the masses that his will is their will, he no longer needs soldiers to guard them. They guard themselves. They defend the very system that quietly feeds upon them, believing they are defending their own freedom. They are given choices, but only from a menu he has written. They are told they are free, as long as they walk within the invisible lines he has drawn. You see this everywhere, though few dare admit it. In the workplace, where obedience is painted as loyalty, and questioning is punished not with lashes, but with silence. In politics, where fear is sown like seed, and the people are herded by their own anxieties. In the marketplace, where desire is manufactured, and the masses willingly exchange their labor, their time, even their identities for trinkets and symbols of status. They are proud to wear the collars because the collars shine. Understand this. People do not need to be forced to serve if they can be persuaded to want what serves their masters. The most perfect control is invisible. It feels like freedom. It whispers, not commands. It offers comfort, recognition, security. And the price is simply obedience. Most pay gladly, never realizing they have paid at all. This is the nature of control. No throne has ever fallen from the weight of its enemies. It falls when the people beneath it stand together. Unity is the great terror of every ruler, for a united crowd can shatter crowns with their bare hands. And so, the cunning do not confront unity, they dissolve it. They do not crush the people, they fracture them, divide the herd, and they will never realize they are being led to the slaughter. The art is ancient and elegant. Take one people and carve them into pieces, draw lines of difference, belief, blood, wealth, language, pride. Whisper that one side is superior, that the other is corrupt, lazy, dangerous. Feed each side its own story, its own heroes, its own villains. Soon they will despise each other more than they ever questioned their ruler. They will shout at one another while the true enemy sits silent, watching, tightening his grasp unseen. A divided people beg for leadership. When chaos rises among them, they plead for order. When distrust infects them, they long for a single voice to speak above the noise. And so the manipulator appears, not as the cause of their division, but as the savior who will heal it. They will worship him for rescuing them from a storm he himself created. They will give him their loyalty, and never suspect they have given away their power. Watch how easily this trick takes root. A merchant pits worker against worker, and none dare unite to demand more from him. A ruler pits class against class, and the rich and poor gnaw at each other while he feasts on both. Even in the smallest circle, friends, families, lovers, create suspicion. So envy, and you can rule them like a puppet master. Those who mistrust each other cannot plot together. Those who argue endlessly cannot rise together. The herd thinks itself wise when it tears itself apart, believing it has found the true enemy in its neighbor. but it is only the invisible hand of the cunning that has redrawn their eyes, shifted their hatred, and bound their spirits to the chains of division. A divided herd does not rebel, it flees, and when it flees, it runs exactly where the shepherd wishes. If you wish to keep a man blind, do not cover his eyes. Flood them. Fill his world with so many images, so many voices, so many false lights that he cannot tell shadow from sun. Confusion is the shield of power, and noise is its weapon. For when the mind is drowning, it cannot fight. It cannot question, it can only clutch at whatever hand is offered. That hand belongs to the one who made the waves. This is the craft of drowning minds. Bury truth beneath abundance. Too many words, too many warnings, too many choices, too many crises screaming for attention. Make everything urgent and nothing will be understood. Feed them contradiction today the villain is a hero, tomorrow the hero is a threat. Let them grow weary from trying to discern what is real. Exhaustion is the key, for a tired mind seeks simplicity, and simplicity is whatever the manipulator declares. The masses will think themselves informed, yet they will know nothing. They will scroll endlessly, watch endlessly, argue endlessly, and understand only what they were meant to. They will become addicts of distraction, chasing fragments of meaning in an ocean of noise, and while they drown, the manipulator works unobserved. He moves pieces, makes laws, seizes wealth, and none see him, for their gaze is fixed on 1,000 flickering lights. In this chaos, truth becomes suspect. Anyone who speaks clearly will be doubted, mocked, or buried beneath the roar. The crowd will no longer ask, "Is this true?" They will only ask, "Is this popular? Is it easy to hear? Does it please me?" And once truth is replaced by comfort, control is complete. The people will obey not because they are commanded, but because they cannot discern any path but the one illuminated for them. Observe the world, constant alerts, endless entertainment, perpetual outrage. Noise has become the air they breathe. It surrounds them, numbs them, softens their instincts. They are too distracted to revolt, too disoriented to rebel. Their minds, once sharp, have grown dull from overfeeding. And when the noise finally becomes unbearable, they will beg for silence, and accept it from the very hand that orchestrated the storm. Men are not moved by reason as much as they are driven by fear. Fear is older than logic, older than language, older than thought itself. It coils deep within the bones, a primal whisper that commands without question. Those who understand this whisper can guide entire nations as easily as one guides a trembling hound. The leash need not be seen, because fear tightens from within. Consider how fear reshapes the mind. A man who is calm may weigh his choices, may question his orders, may dare to resist, but fill his nights with terrors and he will beg for direction. Show him shadows and he will plead for a light. Any light, even one that burns. Fear narrows the world to survival, and when survival becomes the only goal, obedience blooms like a poisoned flower. The fearful do not plan revolutions, they clutch at safety. It matters little whether the danger is real. What matters is that it is believed. A clever ruler crafts enemies from air, phantoms, rumors, unseen forces plotting just beyond the horizon. He whispers of threats that lurk outside the gates or rot within the hearts of neighbors. The people will shiver, clutch each other, and turn their eyes to him for protection. And when he demands their freedom in exchange for their safety, they will offer it up as though it were a burden. Fear can make the brave crawl, the proud kneel, the wise obey. It can hollow out a man until he becomes only a shell, moving where he is pushed. Entire cities can be pacified with fear, silenced not by chains but by trembling. And they will even police themselves, turning on any who question fear, for to doubt the terror is to feel it more deeply. So they silence the doubter, to silence their own unease. See how easily the leash slips around the neck. A single act of terror, a single cry in the night, and the people bind themselves. They accept surveillance, they accept punishment, they accept the stripping of their voices, all in the name of safety. Fear does not shout, it whispers, and yet its whisper drowns every other sound, until nothing remains but the steady pull of the leash, and the desperate hope that the hand holding it will not let go. Freedom is a dangerous thing. wild, unpredictable like fire. It cannot be allowed to roam unbound, not by those who would rule, but to cage it openly invites rebellion. So the cunning do something far more subtle. They do not remove choice. They counterfeit it. They build a maze of false doors, and let the people wander proudly, believing they are free, while every path wins back to the same master's hand. This deception is an art of framing. The people must never suspect the limits. Give them 2 banners to rally under, 2 paths to walk, 2 idols to worship, both of your choosing. Let them debate endlessly over which is better, while never realizing both serve you. They will fight as though the fate of the world depends upon their selection, and in doing so, they will blind themselves to the truth, that the decision was hollow before they ever made it. A ruler who masters this can make obedience feel like victory. The crowd will celebrate their freedom to choose, not noticing that the cage was built before they arrived. One may choose left or right, red or blue, crown or council. But the architect who designed the game wins no matter who they select, and the beauty of this trick is that they will defend the system that deceives them, because they believe it belongs to them. This tactic poisons the mind more deeply than chains. Chains can be seen and broken. False choices burrow into belief. The people will say, at least we can choose, even as they march down corridors built to end at the same locked gate. They will argue over which master to serve, never daring to ask why they must serve at all. And those who whisper this forbidden question will be branded mad, for they threaten the illusion everyone clings to. Observe how this shapes the world. Endless elections with no true shift of power, endless products from the same handful of merchants, endless opinions crafted by the same unseen hands. The crowd cheers, thinking they have spoken, while only echoing the words placed in their mouths. This is the brilliance of false choice. It enslaves without force, it deceives without chains. It makes the prisoner sing as he locks his own cell. No empire survives on force alone. Fear may bend the spine, but it is reward that keeps it bowed. The wise manipulator does not merely punish the disobedient. He makes obedience glow like gold. He lifts the loyal into the light, crowns them with titles, drenches them in applause. The rest watch, hungry for the same favor, and they kneel willingly, thinking they are rising. Observe how swiftly this reshapes behavior. The people begin to compete not to be free, but to be chosen. They sharpen their tongues to praise their master. They polish their chains until they shine. They censor themselves, betray their own thoughts, even turn against their peers, all to be seen as obedient. For the promise of reward is sweeter than the threat of punishment. It makes them race towards submission rather than flee from it. But as obedience is gilded, rebellion must be buried, not merely crushed, but erased as though it never existed. The defiant must be made invisible, their names forgotten, their efforts mocked or twisted into warnings. Silence them not with executions, but with obscurity. Let them vanish quietly while the world looks away, distracted by the bright spectacle of the obedient being exalted. Fear of punishment fades with time, but fear of being forgotten lingers like a ghost. This balance creates a perfect machine. Those who obey rise, those who resist vanish, and soon the people forget that resistance was ever possible. They tell themselves obedience is wisdom, that survival demands loyalty, that to question is to perish. They police each other, praising conformity, shunning any flicker of defiance, and when they see a rebel fall, they do not mourn him. They thank the master for keeping order. In such a system, the ruler need barely lift a finger. The obedient maintain their own ranks, guarding the gates for the one who holds the key. They line up to serve, desperate for the next taste of praise, the next small elevation above their fellows. And all the while, the master smiles in shadow, knowing the deepest form of control is not enforced by soldiers, but by those who beg to enforce it upon themselves. Reality is not what is, reality is what is believed, and belief is shaped by story. Understand this, and you no longer need armies, for the minds of men will march where the tale leads them. A ruler who controls the story controls the world, for people will fight, die, even love for illusions. If those illusions are wrapped in the right words. The past is clay in the hands of the storyteller. Rewrite it, and you rewrite the foundation of every thought. Erase the inconvenient, magnify the flattering, invent heroes where there were none. Soon the people will remember only what you permit. They will quote the words you planted. They will celebrate victories that never occurred. They will mourn enemies you created. The truth will rot away in the dark while your version shines like scripture. And the present, oh, the present is even easier. Drown it in spectacle, coat it in glory, give it meaning that serves you. If they struggle, tell them they are enduring for a noble cause. If they suffer, tell them they are sacrificing for the greater good. Wrap their pain in poetry until they wear it with pride. They will defend their misery as though it were a badge of honor, and curse anyone who dares to strip it away. The future is the final hook. It need not be real, only radiant. Promise a golden age just beyond the horizon, and they will march toward it forever, never asking why it always retreats. A future can be painted endlessly, refined, delayed. It never has to arrive, yet men will bleed for it, trade their freedoms for it, destroy their own neighbors in its name, never realizing they are chasing a mirage cast by your hand. When you hold the story, you hold their sense of meaning. They will not see you as a ruler, but as the voice of destiny. They will shape their identities around the tale you have spun, defend it, die for it, raise their children inside its walls. Truth becomes irrelevant. What matters is repetition. Tell the story often enough and they will beg for it, they will worship it. They will chain themselves to it with smiling mouths and shining eyes.